Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is London, and as you all probably know, Knockout City came out just this last Friday. It's free for the first 10 days on pretty much any console: PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC, on Steam, EA Play, Xbox Game Pass, I mean, you name it, it's all over the place. So grab it and try it out while it's free if you're interested, because it's a ton of fun, and there's a lot more to this game than you might think. So I figured, as someone who's played the beta and know a decent amount about the game, I figured I'd make a top 10 tips and tricks kind of video to help those of you who might be new, or if you're already familiar with Knockout City, maybe you'll end up learning a thing or two. I stream every Monday through Friday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. I mainly stream Rocket League, but since this game just dropped, I'm going to be streaming a lot more Knockout City as well. I'll leave a link in the description, so be sure to catch me live over there. With that said, let's get the video started. So I'm kind of going to be playing here while I'm talking, but the first thing I wanted to go over was dodging into an opponent's ball. Now, if you've done any of the training, you're probably aware one of the training bots tells you to dodge into an opponent's ball to deflect it. Now, if you are aware, dodging will break the tracking of a ball. Like, it won't track onto you, it won't lock onto you, it'll break the homing. So it will stop locking onto you essentially when you dodge, right? You can dodge left, right, forwards, backwards. However, during the training, it tells you to dodge forward, like that, into an enemy ball. However, in a multiplayer match, the only thing that's going to do is send the ball back to your opponent, and they're just going to pick it right back up and throw it at you again. So a smart thing to do would be to dodge backwards, wait for the ball to hit the ground, so that you now have a ball yourself and can throw it back at the enemy. The same can also be applied if your opponent throws a curveball, left or right, or an overhand ball, simply by dodging the same direction the ball is traveling. So like I said, generally dodging forward into the ball will just send it back to your opponent, and you of course want to avoid that. So use your dodges wisely. Alright, the second tip I wanted to cover you guys is about faking your throw. Now, you might think, oh, it's simple, you just take the ball and you fake a throw like this. Aim at the guy, F to fake, make him, try to catch, and then he'll get hit. However, faking can be a lot more complicated than you think. Depending on your distance and depending on how charged your ball is, faking can be either really good or really bad. So if I'm from this distance and I fake, it's going to make my opponent try to catch, right? However, because of the speed of my ball and because of the distance, if I fake, then throw, he'll already be ready to catch again. And most players will have a fast enough reaction time to be able to catch the ball, if it's slow enough like that. So most people will be able to react in time and just catch your throw. Another thing you want to avoid is faking too many times, because it just becomes predictable. Doing stuff like this. Don't do this. People will just laugh at you, and then they'll just catch your ball like that. Another thing you want to keep in mind is making sure you're faking at the right time. What I'm trying to say is there are specific windows where faking can be a good thing and faking can be a bad thing. If you're really close, honestly, it can work pretty well. If I'm this close to somebody, even with a regularly charged ball, and I fake, I can still get him. But if I'm farther away and I fake and then throw, he'll have time to catch again. So you kind of want to be aware of how far you are from your opponent, how fast your ball is going to travel, how you're going to throw it, and if it is a good time to fake or not. Alright guys, so the next tip I want to cover is curveballs and overhand balls, or whatever the front flip ones are called. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments. And what I wanted to cover was, I see a lot of people in games throwing slow curveballs and slow overhand balls, and that is almost one of the worst things you can do. It's extremely readable. It's a longer travel time than just a straight ball, which I can talk about in a different video, by the way. You can actually fake people out by throwing slower balls, but if you throw a slow curveball or a slow overhead ball, it's just a really easy way to just get your ball caught and thrown right back at your face. Now, this doesn't really fall under any kind of special trick or anything. I just see people do it a lot, so stop throwing slow curveballs or slow overhand balls, because I guarantee you it's just going to get caught, it's going to get charged, and it's going to fly right back at you 10 times faster, and it's just no good. You don't want really fast balls smacking your face, right? Alright, on to the next tip. Alright guys, so this next tip is actually pretty important, and not a lot of people would think about this. It has nothing to do with throwing the balls, catching the balls, nothing like that. This tip actually covers map movement and basically being in places where your enemy would not expect. So I know you can't jump super high in this game, right? You can get up to some certain stuff, right? But oh no, I can't get up there. Oh, I can't jump from up here to up there. Now, a big thing I see a lot of people doing is just they walk out in the open with their ball and they just don't expect to get hit, or they can't catch in time. They can't react fast enough to an enemy ball, and they just get hit, right? Now, what a lot of people underestimate in this game is that the maps are designed so that you can hide behind things, use cover, you know, dash behind certain things. You know, I want to see people using the cover and the objects that are placed, you know, tactically and specifically on the map for people to use. Another big thing is movement. There's a lot of places and a lot of maps people wouldn't expect, like up here. You know, you can get to some pretty wild places using your spin or front flip. I'm sure not a lot of you knew you could get up on top of this radio tower, but here I am, right? So it's just a matter of, you know, actually paying attention to your surroundings and ending up in places where, you know, maybe your opponent wouldn't think. People might expect you to be, you know, down here, you know, fighting to fight down here, but are people going to expect you to come from behind here and like kind of use this as an advantage? Someone's throwing a straight ball at you, you just kind of duck back down here behind cover. And I'm just using this as an example. There's lots of spots that are similar to this on a lot of the maps that are placed there for a reason. So pay attention to your surroundings. There's a lot of really cool objects and things that the devs put in the game for us to take advantage of. And if you guys possibly wanted to see a video of me going over some of the better spots to kind of position yourself on a lot of the maps, let me know down in the comments below and I can get that video cooked up for you guys. Alright guys, welcome to the roundabout. This is a really, really cool map. And I know in my last tip we just talked about being in unexpected places, but I kind of wanted to go a little bit more in depth with a really nice tip that can actually save your life or your friend's life. So as you can see on this map and on a few other maps, there's some hover vehicles or platforms that are kind of floating above the ground. As you are aware, you can go into a ball mode. Now, on a lot of these maps, you can actually go under the vehicles that are driving by. And not only that, but you can also travel with them. So this is actually a really good tactic if you don't want to get hit. So for example, say it's a 1v3. My two teammates are down, they're waiting to respawn, and you know, I don't have a ball on me. My teammates are going to spawn, I'm waiting for them, so I can just roll under this car and stick with it, and it's going to be very, very difficult for the enemy team to throw a ball at me. And there are a lot of other maps where there are specific spots that are just dormant, that are stationary, where you can also do this. Like this spot over here on this map with the bus. I haven't been hit doing this before. It's pretty hard for the enemy to hit you, like I said, but you know, you could get hit possibly. I don't know. It hasn't happened to me yet, but if it does happen to you, let me know if it's possible. So yeah, if you guys didn't know about that little tip, now you do. Use it to your advantage. Alright guys, the next tip I want to cover is pretty easy. It's very, very simple, super easy to remember, and you only have to press one button. That's right, just one button. So, this dummy is on my team, and he's got a ball in his hands. So do I. What the heck? That's crazy. So, if I want my ball to be faster than a normally charged ball, all I have to do is get close enough to my teammate and press the pass button. This will bounce off of him and put one stack of overcharge on my ball, which is faster than a regularly charged ball. So instead of just charging your ball normally and throwing it at the enemy, instead, turn to your teammate, pass it off him really quickly, then throw it. This will not only increase the power of your ball, but also decrease the amount of time the enemy can react to your throw. Due to the fact that when you lock onto somebody, there's a warning border around their screen and lets them know that 1, you're locking onto them, and 2, that a ball is coming if they're not facing towards you. Passing the ball off of your teammate, gaining 1 stack of overcharge, and then throwing it at your enemy not only instantly charges your ball, reducing the amount of time the warning pops up on your screen, but also makes it travel much faster and gives the enemy a lot less time to react to your throw. Alright guys, the next thing I want to cover is about the multi-ball. That's right. So, what I see a lot of people do is they'll see an enemy and they'll just spam their left click or their trigger button, and they'll just throw all 3 of them at a single enemy, you know, in a straight line. And sure, that can work sometimes, but a better way to almost guarantee a knockout would be to throw the multi-balls in different ways so that they are forced to kind of react differently to each throw. So you could throw 1 straight, 1 curved, and 1 a high. And I can almost guarantee you that nobody will be able to catch all 3 of those because they're all thrown in different ways, causing mass confusion. So instead of throwing all 3 balls in a straight line at them, one after another, mix it up a little bit, throw 1 straight, throw 1 curved, and throw 1 overhand. And I can guarantee that you'll at least get a heart, if not a complete knockout, from mixing it up like that. Another quick thing I wanted to go over with the multi-ball is don't hog it. If your teammates don't have a ball, pass them one. You've got 3 of them. Remember guys, sharing is caring. If you pass a multi-ball to your friends, then you've got a whole team that's ready to knock out some enemies. Alright dudes, the next one is about the bomb ball. That's right. the ever dreaded bomb ball. Okay, so before I pick this up, the number one thing I see a lot of people doing in online matches is picking up the bomb ball and throwing it almost immediately. Don't do this. It's the easiest way to get either yourself or your teammates knocked out very quickly. Because of the bomb ball's AoE, if your teammates are close to each other, this can knock out not one, not two, but your whole team if you guys are close enough. What you want to do is when you pick up the bomb ball, do not throw it right away. Wait until its final beeps, until it gets the highest pitch, and then throw it. That way, they are either forced to catch it, take a hit, or try their best to dodge from it, but because of the bomb ball's big area of effect, normally it's pretty difficult to escape that explosion. So again, don't throw it right away. Wait until its final beeps, and then give it a toss. I guarantee you guys are going to see a lot more success if you wait until the last second to toss those bombs. Alright everyone, this is tip number 9, and it's another big thing that I see people doing in online matches that shouldn't be happening, but for some reason does happen quite a bit. So, the cage ball. Everyone's familiar with this thing. It's super annoying. You get caught in it, you're kind of screwed, right? But for some reason, in a lot of games, I see people getting caught in the cage ball, and then for some reason, they'll just throw them straight up in the air. Now, I know it looks fun, and it looks cool to throw the ball super far away and stuff, but the problem with that is once you're in the cage ball, and if you get thrown right up in the air, there's nothing stopping you from gliding right back into the arena. I've had people throw me straight up into the air, almost trying to throw me off the map, and I'll just glide right back in like nothing ever happened. So instead of throwing them diagonally or straight up into the sky to watch them fly away, instead, cage them up, dunk them! That way, they get eliminated much faster, and it is a guaranteed KO. Like I said earlier, if you do throw them straight up in the air, there's a 90% chance they're just going to glide right back into the arena, pick up a ball, and knock you out. Alright everyone, this is my 10th and final tip, at least for this video. If you guys want to see more, be sure to let me know in the comments, and I'd be more than happy to dive deeper into Knockout City. So, for the final tip, I see a lot of players that will just, charge their teammate up and super them right off the bat without really putting any thought into it. Now, one of the easiest ways to get a whole team is to bait them into getting close to your team. So what I mean by this is, if you're playing with a team that you can communicate with, try your best to get the enemy team as close to you as possible, by any means. After that, have one teammate roll up into a ball, pick them up, and then super them. Make sure you do it as soon as you see all three of your opponents as close together as they can get, and as close to you, because keep in mind this will not KO your teammates, but it will instantly KO your opponents. Work with your team to try to get the enemy team as close to yours as possible, try to get them as grouped up as you possibly can, and once all three of them are as close as you think they're gonna get, have one teammate roll up, or roll up yourself, tell them to super you, get up in the air, drop on them, and get that triple kill. Alright everybody, that's gonna do it for my first top 10 tips and tricks kind of video. I'm not really sure what to call it. If you're new to Knockout City, I hope some of these tips and tricks did help. They'll definitely help you get started in the game. And if you're a beta player like myself, let me know if any of these tips and tricks actually taught you something new. Catch me live on Twitch Monday through Friday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Weekend streams are totally random, but they do happen pretty often. And with that said, I'll see you guys in a future video. Peace out.